Crossroads Community Church. We are so glad that you decided to check us out. You are invited to visit us in person at 9 or 11 a.m. on Sunday mornings. If you would like to partner with us in our mission to connect others with God, you can visit us on our website at www.crossroads.cc and click on the Online Giving tab. We hope you enjoy this sermon from our most recent service.
Awesome, guys. Do you love your church? We hope that you do. I love my church. My name is Paul. I get to be one of the pastors here, and I might not have met everyone in this room. So I want to introduce myself. Again, I'm Paul. I'm the teaching and student pastor here. And so if I haven't met you, hello. All right, now we're friends, right? And hi. So we're going to jump in this morning. I have a really awesome announcement at the end, so don't go anywhere, okay? So we're going to jump right in. Thank you so much if you've already downloaded the app. Thank you so much for doing that. If not, you're going to be geeking out the whole time while I'm talking, trying to get the app downloaded and all that kind of stuff. If you haven't, just kind of stop. If you're having problems, later on we'll have opportunity for you guys to get the app downloaded. But if you want to, you can actually follow along with me this morning in notes. Believe it or not, we're not taking your paper notes. Don't worry, okay? We've had people say, what about my paper notes? I love my paper notes. I love my paper notes too, okay? We're not taking those. You're always going to be available as you walk in. We're not putting our greeters at the doors out of a job or any of that kind of stuff, okay? Some of them say, hey, man, it's fine with me if you take me out of a job, but no. We're not doing that. We're not changing that. But if you want to, you can go right onto our app if you already have that downloaded, and you can go to sermon notes, and you can take notes along with us. Those are fill in the blanks right there, and you can type those in. And one of the things we're really, really excited about is that we hope that you're going to be sharing those. If you're like me, I write notes to my wife on my notes sometimes. I know you want to say that with Pastor Aaron in the room or myself, but like I understand what you do. You do the same thing I do, like what's for lunch. Okay, that's something that I always put on my notes. What's for lunch? Oops, I forgot I left the curling iron on. Okay, I hope our house isn't burnt down. Stuff like that on our notes. We know that maybe you might not want to share that with somebody else later. If you fill that out and you want to give it to somebody else. But we're hoping that you might share these notes and know that when you come to Crossroads, you're not just coming to Crossroads for you. You're also maybe coming for somebody else that you might encounter this week. And God might give you something that you need to give away later on, okay? And so we're hoping that you might share those notes or share a video on there or share something that's on there. All of the things that are on there are shareable, so please do that. Okay, so we've been in this series called I Love My Church, and our love for our church is growing as we find out more about our church. And we've been going through these culture statements, these values that we have, and you see them hanging out there. And so if you missed something, make sure you go back on our archive, on our app, or on the website and look and see the archive of the videos and things that you've missed. But you'll see them hanging out there. But we're trying to explain some things, some behaviors that we have here at Crossroads, so that hopefully we can teach other people about these behaviors that'll help us stay the way we are, but also challenge us to go into new areas and say, God, what do you want to do with us in the future, in our community? Like, how can we stay the way, keep doing some of the stuff that we're doing? Because we realize if we don't understand what we're doing, then we can't replicate that. We can't even one day plant that somewhere else, okay? So we're going through these value statements, and today we're talking about remaining open-handed. Remaining open-handed. So the one thing you need to know today, so if you zone out and you miss everything, you'll get the main point right here at the beginning. This is where we're going today, is that holding on hurts. So remain open-handed. So holding on hurts. So remain open-handed. Remaining anything is hard. Did you know that? Remaining anything is hard. And said, well, no, it's not. Well, let me give you some examples. Remaining calm. Have you ever tried to remain calm before? Have you ever been around a dog that doesn't like you very much? And you're saying, I know dogs smell fear. I have no fear. I have no fear. This dog, hey, puppy, and you're scared, right? You know, and you're like, remain calm, okay? Or maybe that cute guy comes to your lunch table and sits down right across from you, and it's right before prom, and you say, oh my gosh, remain calm. Okay. Hi, how are you? Like remain calm. Or maybe you're like me and you've got that notification before that your bank account has been overdrawn by $256. That's happened to me on a date with my wife. Before we were married, I got a notification that said, after my card was declined, your account has been overdrawn $250 something. We'll talk later about that. My wife now handles our finances. Anyway. Amen. Hallelujah. I married up. Okay. Remaining calm. Remaining quiet. What is it about remaining quiet when you're not supposed to talk? This is not a culture of value at Crossroads, by the way. You guys talk all the way through every time we stand up here. We know that, by the way. We can see you. Did you know that? And we're up here really high. Right here. Here it is. Right here. It's okay. Did you know it's okay? We don't mind, okay? You can talk, okay? Don't talk about us. It kind of hurts our feelings a little bit. We can hear that too sometimes. All right, so, but it's not a value that we really hold here. We want you to be discussing what's going on, okay? Remaining quiet, okay? But sometimes me and my wife are kind of inappropriate sometimes, and things really, when we're supposed to be quiet, like at the training the other day at Newport News Schools, and we're supposed to be learning how to be volunteers, and things are just funny, and we cut up in there, and someone has to call us down, like, hey, let's shh, okay? We get shushed all the time, okay? Remaining fit, we'll just move on from there. Remaining married, that's difficult, okay? It takes work to remain married, right? You don't just, you get married, and the pastor says, now you may kiss your bride, you're married, and then the actual work begins after that. Remaining married, truthful, loving. I know none of you have a problem with that at all, especially if you're a parent. You got this down, okay? Remaining awake this morning. Some of you are going to fight to remain awake, and we value your struggle. Thank you, okay? We value that. Remaining focused, remaining in school, okay? I remember when I was a teenager, they had this marketing campaign to people that were dropping out of school. That's a problem, everybody's dropping out of school. And some genius, somewhere in some meeting, came up with this slogan, okay? Can you imagine this? Hey guys, we have this really big problem. People are dropping out of school. What should we do? I have it. Stay in school, okay? They had this slogan. It was called Stay in School. And athletes and people took it, everywhere. And right before they were doing a press conference with somebody, it's like, yeah, thank you. I had a really good game today. I threw for 850 yards. And by the way, stay in school. Everybody said that, right? It was like this thing, stay in school, T-shirts, okay? It was a great, it's kind of like lyrics when you hear a song and it's like, la, 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 la. Who came up with that lyric? That was really hard lyric. But stay in school, staying. Students right now, you're like, man, I just have to stay in school. I have to I have to not flunk this test. I have to just stay in school, especially if you're in college right now and you're getting ready to go to fall break and you're like, I have to stay in school. It's hard. I'm staying employed. Ever want to just not be employed? Sometimes staying employed, you get it. What about remaining open-handed? Is that hard? Is remaining open-handed hard? You might say, yeah, no, it's not hard. Well, let me tell you what it means first, okay? Let me tell you what it means. Around here, remaining open-handed means, God, I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad. You can take what you want out of my hands, and you can put what you want into my hands. I will put what you want over my stuff and my ideas. Your kingdom, your mission, your values, they go first, okay? That's what that means, okay? So remaining open-handed, that's what that means. Is that hard? Yes. Yes, that is hard, okay? That's why it's going to take all of us to do that. It's going to take everyone in this room holding each other accountable, personally, organizationally. We're going to have to all hold ourselves accountable to do that, okay? And we're practicing that. We're failing every week, and we're winning sometimes, and we're losing sometimes. And we know that's going to be the same with you guys. But we're going to do it together. We're going to try and remain open-handed. God, you come first over my stuff and my ideas. Okay, we're a changing church, and stuff changes all the time around here. And some of you like that, and some of you don't like that. Sometimes, me just being right here really bothers you, okay? And it really bothers me, okay? So I'm going to move back. Okay, so first service, I moved too far this way. And they said, no, move back. I'm like, I've messed the whole thing up, okay? And Ken's back there saying, where are you going? All right? But, just having things just a little bit different or coming in and saying, hey, now we got an app, or what's going to happen with the app? What about the website? What about this? And we've got a new data system coming in, and what, I can't get on there. Things change, and we like that about our church. And sometimes it drives us crazy, but we like this tension of that. There's tension in change, and you can feel it. Or you can actually feel it sometimes. Okay, I want everybody to do something with me. I want you to close your fists as hard as you can physically, okay? And I want you to hold them like this and don't let go until I tell you, okay? Can you do that for me? Just hold your fists. Just hold things like this, okay? You got it? Have you ever thought about all the things in your life that you're trying to hold on to? Have you ever thought about all the things in your life that you're trying to hold on to? I haven't until this week, and God's been all over me. In the South, where I come from, we call something called all up in your grits, okay? That means God was all up in my grits this week, okay? And he was talking to me about these things. These are the things that I'm trying to hold on to right now. Sanity, okay? I am the father of a 5-year-old, okay? I am trying to grip sanity every single day of my life. I have to choose to grip sanity. Sometimes I want to lose my sanity, okay, but I can't. My health. I am also someone who went to bed one night perfectly healthy, and I woke up the next morning with a herniated disc in my back. Required surgery, removed my disc, all those things. I know what that's like. I was like, God, why is this happening? Okay? I don't understand. And there's many things that God has given me that I haven't understood, right? And you too. Money. How many of you are trying to grip money? It's slippery, isn't it? It's so slippery. That money is so slippery. It just goes away. And if you're a parent of a teenager in this room right now, or a college student, you know that the account is always empty, right? It's always empty. I don't know where the stuff goes, and you never see your change. All right, and then spouses, you're trying to say, what's going on with my marriage? What's going on? That is slippery. Grades, if you're a student in here, again, grades, it could be tomorrow that you get an F. You think you got it down, and then you don't, and you're slipping. You're holding on to grades. Your future, you're trying to hold on to that, and things always change in the world. And you thought your future was one way, and now it's something else. Your reputation, somebody put something on Twitter or on Facebook or something else, and now you're scorned and nobody wants to talk to you at school, okay? Or your boss is mad at you and you understand, why did they post that? Your homes, your cars, boats, aging. Some of us have products in our hair right now that are trying to keep us from other people knowing that we're aging, okay? But it's happening, okay? And I'm not going to call names or look anywhere. I'm just looking straight down. Our job, looking at myself, okay? Our job, we're trying to hold on to our jobs, okay? Sometimes we want to let go of our jobs and punch someone, but we don't do that. We try and hold on our jobs. Our children, okay, we don't know where they are most of the time. Like, they're just everywhere, and they break things, and they keep using the bathroom in their pants, and I don't understand why. I'm just trying to hold on to them. My family, I'm trying to hold my dad is like, he's almost he's 75 years old, okay? I'm just trying to hold on to him, okay? And he doesn't realize that he's 75, and he wants to do stuff that he shouldn't be doing, okay? Like driving on ice and stuff like that, okay? I'm trying to hold on to that. This is my own life, okay? Expectations, the past, land. If you live in Seaford, good luck, okay? And so, all these things we're trying to hold on, okay? So let go. Do you feel the difference? Do you feel the release of tension? Some of you, your hands went numb. Some of you have little marks in your hand where your fingernails have been digging into your hand. Tension's not bad. In fact, it's good. Some of you have tension in your hair right now. It's holding that stuff together. You know what I'm saying? That little band that you're using, it's good. Tension's good. Our cars work on tension. Lots of things work on tension. Tension's good. And did you know that God created tension? And he created us uniquely to manage tension. Did you know that we're the only creatures that God created that can have dual tension? Did you know that? In this hand, I can hold a contact lens. In this hand, I can grip a baseball. Did you know that? I can grip it hard here, and I can hold a contact lens in here. Did you know that God uniquely created us to manage tension? Uniquely, away from anybody else. We're the only ones. But we feel like we fail at that, don't we? All the time, trying to manage the tension in our lives, especially as the world changes and changes and changes. No matter how hard we try, we just cannot grip the things I just listed in that list. Isn't that something? No matter how hard we try, we grasp at sanity and health and money and children and family and expectations. We grasp at it, but we just can't grab it. It's just so slippery, and we try harder and harder. We feel like with more effort we could hold on to it. But see, the more I try, I just realize that I am just not in control of these things, and the control of these things is an illusion. So the control of all this stuff is an illusion. It's not real. I can't control it. I cannot control all the stuff on this list. It's an illusion. It's a magic trick. It's smoke and mirrors. I just can't do it. So let's run to God's word and let's see what God has to say about this, okay? He says in a nutshell, don't try and hold on to your lifestyle. Don't try and hold on to this stuff. You can't do it. Don't try. And see, this is opposite. This is not normal. What the world's going to tell you is to grab and grab and grab. The one with the most toys wins. That's what the world's going to tell you, okay? The more hold you have on things, the better you are, the more successful you are, okay? But that's not true. God is going to tell us something else. Jesus lives this out, and he says the most clear example of this. I couldn't say it any clearer, okay? Jesus says this. He says in Mark 8:34 through 37, he says this. Then calling to the crowd, he said, join my disciples, and said this. Hey, if any of you wants to be my follower, you must turn from your selfish ways, take up your cross, and follow me. Okay, Jesus, I can do that. Then 35, he says this, and by the way, those of you that are coming to follow me, if you try and hang on to your life, you'll lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake and for the sake of the good news, that means the gospel, you'll save it. It's very clear what Jesus is saying. He's saying if you're trying to hold on to a specific type of lifestyle or the way that you're living or even your tangible life, the breath that's into your lungs, if you think that you can hold on to this, you cannot follow me because you don't have control over that. You don't make yourself breathe. I do. I make you breathe. You don't make yourself successful. I do. I make you successful. I raise kings up. I tear kings down. You don't have control of this. You don't understand what you're talking about. If you want to follow after me, you have to give that up, and I'm going to teach you a new way. But you cannot hold on to your life. And what do you benefit in 36 if you gain the whole world and you lose your own soul anyway? I'm more concerned about your soul. This life continues. You're worried about your 85 years. I'm worried about your 85 billion years. Okay? And he says, you don't understand. Is anything worth more than your own soul? Also in Acts 2, it's not on your notes, but if you scroll down, you can take these notes and look at them later. Acts 2, look this up later. Acts 2:42, all the believers in the early church devoted themselves to the apostles' teaching and to fellowship and to sharing meals, including the Lord's Supper, and to prayer. And a great deep sense of awe came over all of them. And the apostles performed many miraculous signs and wonders, and the believers met together in one place, and they shared everything that they had. And they sold their property in Seaford and their possessions, okay, that they had stored up in the garage. And they shared the money with those who were in need. And they worshiped together in the temple each day, not just on Sunday, every single day. And they met in homes for the Lord's Supper. And they shared their meals with great joy and generosity, and all the while praising God and enjoying the goodwill of all the people. And guess what happened? Each day the Lord added to their fellowship those who were being saved. I feel the attention as I read that to hold on, though. Because you say, man, okay, God, that's good for you. That's good for that century, but that's not good for me in 2017 because I have to hold on. I feel the tension of holding on. Don't get us wrong here at Crossroads that we're going to give you a value that we're going to try and live out and try and act out here in our community and in our church, and that we don't feel the tension of holding on. We do feel the tension of that, but we want to just leave it there. We want to acknowledge it and say, yeah, there's tension in letting go and opening our hands. But I feel that we could be relieved from that tension if we just believe one thing. You just have to get this one thing. I feel tension to hold on, even though I know what God says. But what if we actually believe that God's plan is to give and not to harm? What if we actually believed and began to practice that God's plan is not to harm us, but to give something to us, okay? Jeremiah 29:11, you might have heard it before, and you might have seen it on a sign or on a tattoo or something like that. And it says this, for I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, the one who's in charge. They are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. We know that when we close our hands to God, we are also saying something. So when I close my hands to God, you know what it says? I am in opposition to you and your plans for my life. God, you can't put anything in my hand, and you can't take anything out. I am in opposition to what you're trying to do, and I don't think that's what you want to say. Is that what you want to say to God? Is that what you're going to say? That God could literally pry your hands open. He really could, okay? And maybe for some of us, he has done that, okay? I know in my life there's certain things that he has pried out of my hands. I don't want that life for you. But if that's what we're saying, if we don't remain open-handed as a church, as a people, and to each other, then what we're saying is, God, I stand in opposition. My stuff is more important than your plan. Like, my idea is more important than your idea. Like, that is what we're saying, and that's not what we want to say. And I don't think that's what you want to say either. So we're choosing then to remain open-handed to God and also to each other. This is why we open our hands when we praise God. Did you know that in a minute we're getting ready to worship? And it was awesome in the first service to see people open their hands. Did you know, it's interesting, I play this game at home with my son, and it's a very complicated game. I'm not sure if you guys have played it before. It's called What's in Your Hand, okay? It's a really complicated game. Sometimes you do this when your flight's delayed or something's late and you have nothing else to do and your phone's dead, okay? So you're going to play this game. It's called What's in Your Hand, okay? And it's when you take something and you put it in your hand and then you show it to the person and you say, which hand's it in? And then they say, that hand. Okay, and you open it up and say, no. And then if you want to go really complex, you put the thing in your back pocket and you don't put it in either hand, you know, and you go, whoo, magic, you know, all right? And so this is a really complex game, but it's interesting how God sees us when we do this. And so when we stay closed-handed to God, and then we also say, God, you can have it all, Lord. You can have it all. You can have my family, my life, my job, my career. God, I've given it all up for you. I'm all in. I'm on your team. This is what it looks like. You can have it all. And God says, well, I want all of it. And you go, okay. God, you can have everything in my life. You can have it all. God, I surrender my life to you. And you say, well, no. You're not surrendering because I can see you have something in your hand. There's something, I want that thing. And you say, well, God, it's just a bottle cap. It's just a cap off an Aquafina bottle. You know, he's like, well, you know, I can do something with that thing. It's not so much about what the thing is in my hand. It's about the attitude of having my hand open. Do you get it? Are you following me? Okay. And so he's like, well, I just want that thing open. Well, God, you don't want this. This is a scarred, broken past. This is a messed up life. You don't want this? This is worthless. He said, no, I want that. I can do something with that. Did you know that I made you out of dirt? I made you out of dirt, okay? If I have dirt, I can do something with dirt, and that's better than dirt. So I actually want that. And so what we do in worship, when we open our hands up and says, God, I'm not holding anything back. I'm not holding anything back. I got nothing in my hands. I'm open to you. As we open our hands like this and say, God, put something in my hands. God, even if it's too heavy for me, I'll ask you, you'll help me carry it. That's our attitude, okay? And so we want to be a church that says, God, my hands are open. Your kingdom, your ways, your ideas, they're better than mine. Okay, I surrender those things. And by the way, I'm not holding anything in my hands. And I'm not holding anything in my hands against my brother and my sister that's in this room. I don't hold anything back. We're not a sneaky church. We don't hide things behind the curtains, okay? We are who we are. We have people that work here and do things here that are not perfect, and we don't want them to be perfect. But we're open-handed. What would it look like this week if you actually did some of these things? Give something away. Just give something away, just for the heck of it, just because you can. And knowing as Americans, someone's going to probably put that thing right back in our hands. Did you know that? It's crazy how Americans, how we do this. Like we're so wealthy. Did you know? Like we take $5 and we give it away, and then one time a month or one time a week, like we have a job that pays us, and that $5 gets back in our hand. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that crazy how that works? Doesn't always work that way in all the places in the world. Did you know that? Stuff gets put back into our hands. People just put it back in there. It's amazing. It's a magic trick. We just give something away. We all having an empty hand, an open hand doesn't mean that you're empty-handed. You're always going to have something, okay? So give something away. There's somebody needs something around you. Let us know on social media what that looks like and how that feels when you did that. Let go of something. Did you know that letting go of something is actually just the action of releasing the tension of your hand? Did you know that letting go of something is actually just letting go? Just try it this week. Just find something, let it go. In this room this morning, there are people that need to let go of addictions. There's people that need to let go of grudges. There's people that need to let go of the thing that they're holding back from God. Whatever it is, okay? God's probably telling you right now what it is in your life. And I'm telling you right now, it's fun to talk to God and say, God, I'm going to let this go. I'm going to try it for a week and see what you do. And God's like, okay, now we can work. Let it go. Let it go. I promise you, I'll be with you. Let it go. Know the truth. It's the last thing. Give something away. Let go of something and know the truth. Really understand that God does not want to harm you, so put your fist down. God's not trying to fight you. By the way, you can't fight him anyway, okay? It's like my son coming to me and saying, all right, Dad, let's go. I'm like, I pick him up over my head and say, now what, okay? So like, okay, fine, we just learned to tap out, okay? We learned to tap out. And so sometimes I'll just grab him, get ready to wrestle, he already taps out, okay? And I love that. I know there's a day coming when that's not going to happen. So put your fist down. Don't fight. Worship. Say, I got nothing. I got nothing for you, God. You're great. You're great. Put your fist down. I know that God has done some stuff in your life that's hurt you, and you've been hurt by it sometimes. I know that. It's happened to me. Stuff that I don't understand. But I want you to know that you don't have to put your fists up to God. What if you actually believe that he's trying to give you something that can heal you? So open your hands. Open your hands. Remember, holding on hurts. So remain open-handed. And I believe God's going to do some awesome stuff through you, through our church as we practice that. Will you try it with me? Will you try it this week with me? Open our hands and see what God does. Are your fists up? Are your fists up this morning? Or what is it that God is calling you to let go of this morning? There's people around the room. I'll be up front. Pastor Aaron will be up front. We'd love to talk to you about that. Ruth Ann is around here. She'll be in the back there. She has a ministry that's just there to walk alongside you as you begin to let go of some things in your life. As someone who has let go of an addiction, I want to tell you right now, God's stronger. He's stronger. He can do it. And if that's what it is this morning, I just feel like there's some people in this room right now that have an addiction, something that's been too strong for them, and they need to let it go. And I believe you can do that this morning with God's help and with your brothers and sisters. We'll be open-handed to you, okay, if you're open-handed with the mess under your carpet, okay? You with me? Did you stay on the whole time? Okay, good. Let's pray. Father, thank you so much for this time. Thank you for your word as it challenges us and it teaches us and it brings us back into focus and back into center that, God, you are the one that doesn't want to pry open our hands, but you want to give us stuff that's useful for us and that can help us grow and that can even heal us in our brokenness. But God, as we hold our hands up to you and we say, no, God, I don't want your best. I want my best. And we realize that we've failed and we're faulty. And so, God, in my life, God, help me to let go. Help me to open up. Help me to take what you've given me and, God, be just a vessel that you can fill up and you can empty out. God, we love you. Thank you so much for this place. God, we want to live this out in the life of our church, in the life in our families, in our community. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.